Hey everyone, welcome back to Magically Unstable. I'm Kurt.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Nicole.
And we are here to talk about Disney.
And our anxiety.
And that's why we're magically
unstable. Oh, Jesus.
Let's do that one more time.
Or we can just keep that whole thing.
Oh my God, that made me lightheaded. Oh my God.
I'm Kurt.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Nicole.
And we are here to talk about Disney.
And our anxiety.
And that's why we're
magically unstable.
Welcome back, everybody. This is going to be a pretty special episode of Magically Unstable, so let's get right into it. Nick, how about you bring up our little special topic?
Yay! This is going to be an extra dose of magic and an extra dose of unstable this week, so strap in. So really exciting. It is it just passed actually, the 1 year anniversary of what the three of us, so I know you guys know us as Magically Unstable, but the umbrella company business name is Foreverland. And it's been 1 year that we have been functionally Foreverland.
Functionally is a great term that you brought up, but yay!
It's a pretty loose
That's super
term.
Exciting.
Yeah.
It is definitely a feat.
It really does not feel like a year. Like, it almost feels like a fever dream that we've been doing this for an entire year. So,
yeah.
Yay, that's exciting. So we thought instead of boring you with our weeks, we would just give you guys a little bit of, different kind of intro where we can kind of tell you just a little bit about us as we're not a company. I don't know whatever the fuck to call us because we're not a business.
Our journey. Our journey.
There we go. Yeah. I was like, we don't fucking sell anything. I mean, I guess we kind of do, but whatever. Our journey. So, I would like to start the section because I guess, like, if we're being technical, Foreverland was kind of like my I don't want to say dream because that sounds like dramatic, but like
I would say your brainchild.
My brainchild. Thank you. Yes. And I don't know why I was being annoying about it, but Nicole and I were going to Disney a lot, and Kurt separately was going to Disneyland a lot and Disney World with Peter, his fiance. And I just always talked about, how unusual it was to know other adults that liked Disney and wanted to do Disney things. So I literally was always like, we should start like a YouTube channel or an Instagram or something having to do with Disney and just like our experiences, because we went so many times. And as adults, we tried so many different experiences that we were like, we should share this with someone. Like it would be fun. So yeah, I feel like I finally just pestered everyone enough to where there was like an initial kind of group that kind of worked because we were like 4 people that like went to Disney World a lot. And I just thought it would be super important. Kurt and I, we're going to be friends for 16 years. And I feel like Foreverland brought our friendship closer because we were long distance friends that talked quite a bit, but it definitely was not this like super close bond. And I was like, Kurt, you go to Disneyland, you go to Disney World, like you should do this with us. And eventually Kurt agreed. I don't know why.
I was very hesitant, I'll say. I was very hesitant about joining, mostly because of the 4th excommunicated group member. But that's also just because I already previously knew that our personalities did not match at all. Or they were a little bit similar where they clashed. So I'm pretty sure I told Nick, I was like, I'm joining, but I am joining to do this with you as my best friend.
Yeah.
And for no other reason.
Exactly.
But it was great because then I had a friendship with Nicole that blossomed into what it is today.
Yeah. So Kurt and Nicole really didn't know each other. I think they had met each other one time when Kurt flew in to surprise me for my 27th birthday, I think.
Yeah, because it was because we kind of we knew each other, but we didn't really know each other, right. And it was just this weird. And we're like, well, Nick is both of our best friends, so I guess we're also friends. It was just this very strange, talked about weird connection. I wouldn't call it a relationship. I would call it a connection.
Yeah, I remember awkwardly hugging him one time.
Right. That's fair. I mean, you guys did
Kurt.
great.
Yeah.
I mean, they got along and we all hung out fine for my birthday. But I totally feel like such an asshole now that I hear that out loud, that I was like, when you take two Barbies and you make them kiss, that was me with you guys. But, it started off as something completely different. And we kind of reimagined what we wanted to be, and that did cause some friction and pressure. And like Kurt said, I think on episode 1, a lot of pressure creates diamonds. I wouldn't call us a diamond, but we're something that was made out of a lot of pressure. So if that's what a diamond is.
What is the fake diamond? A cubic zirconia? No, we're not even that. We're like a rhinestone.
A plastic
and it's not even a
rhinestone.
Swarovski rhinestone. It's just one of those ones that you get in the bag at Michael's.
Exactly. Yeah. And here we are.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Foreverland in general, I guess to me and to us, we really created this land, this world of togetherness and community, and that's what we strive to do, I guess, every single day through Foreverland, whether it be through this podcast or our Instagram or our YouTube channel or any affiliate that we have out there, and I think it's just our main goal has always been to give the Disney experience, give what Disney has given us as adults to people who were in our situation, when we were kids or when we were growing up, or even who are in our situation now, and can't really, they don't have the monetary funds to go to Disney World or Disneyland. They don't have the family connections to go on vacation every year. They don't have, that family structure to do that. So I guess that's kind of been our goal the entire time, which has morphed from an Instagram to a YouTube channel, to now this podcast and to a travel company that we work with. So it has just grown and blossomed. And I feel like I am really proud of the work that we have done so far through Foreverland. It has been a struggle to maintain this throughout a pandemic and to maintain it long distance. But I am so proud of what we have achieved so far in a year, because if we really look back and think about it, we have reached so many people and brought joy to so many people and made people feel heard and comforted, and even especially on TikTok, we have found a great community there, and I feel like it's just the work that we're doing is really fulfilling to me personally, because this is not my full-time focus. And I mean, I know it's not your guys' full-time focus either. So I feel very fulfilled with Foreverland, and I'm really happy in the direction that it's going. And I'm super excited about a bunch of things that we have coming out for you guys in the future.
Yeah. Kurt said it all. There's really nothing to add to that. He hit it all on the head. So, with that being said, we have something really exciting if you're listening to this podcast.
We do. We kind of teased it last week, but we want to give you the details on our 1-year anniversary giveaway.
Yay! Giveaway! Nicole, come on, do it. Thank you. So we wanted to, as soon as Nicole reminded us all that our 1-year anniversary was coming up, because Nicole, if you remember, you were the first one to remember that, the exact date to tell you.
She's our calendar lady.
Trauma. No, you know why I'm the calendar lady is because my job we're not leaving the beginning of Foreverland right now. very specific memory. I bought the biggest fucking calendar that I could find, right?
I remember
because that was my only
yeah.
role, was finding dates for things,
Mhm.
right? Because X4th communicated group member was a control freak, is a control freak, okay? Keep it all in the podcast. This is slander. I don't care anymore. This is slander. I won't name drop, but I'm coming for you. And I bought this big fucking calendar, and then I was told that I didn't matter. And so I took my calendar and I threw it in the garbage, but now I remember every fucking date. That's why we're having this podcast.
So what was the date? What was the exact date?
March 14th.
Perfect. So when
The day Disneyland closed.
the day our dreams died.
Yeah.
So
Yep. I was sitting in a gym in Utah.
oh my God. Yeah, it was
I know.
pretty traumatic, but obviously March 14th, by the time you all listen to this podcast, was a little while ago. So we all already revisited our trauma a couple weeks ago, especially with Disneyland closing and the pandemic and all that great stuff. But there is some good coming out of it because now we have a giveaway. And there's some really exciting items in there. I mean, like stuff that's really exclusive and really cool. Some items that are going to be featured in the giveaway are a... Kurt, you explain what the hell that thing is.
So one of the things that I don't even fully remember how I have two of them, but I'm going to give away my extra Walt Disney 65th anniversary Disneyland Pop Funko figure. So for all of you Disneyland collectible items, collectors, I don't really know. So if you like Pop Funkos, it is a Walt Disney Pop Funko figure. He's holding a Mickey toy, and behind him is this gigantic Disneyland Pop Funko castle. It is like a collection, I would say, because I also have like the Mickey band leader one, and there's a giant castle behind him too. But yeah, so I have an extra one of those. They're super, super exclusive. They sold off of the Shop Disney website, I want to say within like 30 minutes after they were released. And they were sold at Disneyland for about a week. And I think within the first day, they were completely sold out of almost all their stock. And then they slowed down the release of them at World of Disney, and they would only release a certain amount a day. And they sold out within the first 10 minutes of opening in the store. So I checked, and they're reselling on eBay for up to $350. And we're giving it to you guys for free. So that's a really, really cool item. I know we're also doing kind of a mix of Disneyland and Disney World. From Disney World, we are going to be giving away the Orange Bird Sipper and Walt Disney World pin and a Disneyland pin, and then some cool annual pass magnets that I know some people are wanting to get their hands on.
Get the clams on.
Yeah.
Great. So that's just we'll post all of the full rules, details, all that good stuff on our Instagram. So it is our Instagram is not Magically Unstable. It's at Foreverland Fairy Tales. So check us out on Instagram, and we will tell you guys how to enter and what you have to do. So yeah, that's all for our 1 year anniversary. We're here, you guys. We have a lot more great ideas for the future. Foreverland's going to be doing a lot of changing, I'm sure, in the next year. So we're excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
So, yay.
All right, let's head into housekeeping.
Here we are. It's housekeeping time. And if you're new, welcome. Hi. This is housekeeping. And this is where we tell you all new things Disney news. So, let's see. What should we start with today? You know what? Kurt, go ahead. What's new on the West Coast for Disneyland?
We finally have a reopening date.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah. Very excited.
exciting.
I feel like each week I have given out my housekeeping to like the smallest bit of information leading up to this.
Literally.
It was like, oh, we can. oh, they said it's going to happen. Oh, it's happening. So the official opening day of Disneyland Resort and California Adventure is going to be April 30th, which is Friday. So I feel like that's an interesting choice, I think, to make it a weekend. I mean, I guess you're going to want everybody to come, but I think like the bad thing is that everybody's going to want to come. So I don't know. But Friday, the 30th of April will be the first day that Disneyland can reopen after over a year. It will be a little bit, almost 14 months.
Wow.
I think it will be 13 months and like 2 weeks or something. So
damn.
Yikes. But
That's so
I'm
exciting.
very excited. Very, very excited. I am already planning my time back at the park. But you know what? Honestly, a lot of it is up in the air because we don't know what's going on with the replacement of the annual pass program. We don't know what's going on with ticket sales. So there's kind of just like a lot up in the air. So I'm not planning on going opening weekend, opening week, opening day, none of that. I'm planning on going for my birthday. So my birthday is May 14th. So we're hoping to try to get tickets that weekend. Hopefully it's far enough away from opening weekend and it's not quite what Memorial Day? Is that the holiday? Labor Day?
I don't know. It's not Labor Day.
I always
it's
get
got to be
confused.
Memorial Day.
Okay, Memorial Day. I always get those two confused because it like
Memorial is May.
I knew you were
Yes.
going to say
And
that.
How did you know? How did
Because
Labor
I
Day
thought
is-
of it.
How
I
did you
thought of
know?
it, and I was like, "That bitch is going to say that." I know she is.
Labor Day's in September, so
They like book
Bitch.
cap. They like book cap the summer for me, so it's like I don't know which one is which.
that's fair.
Book cap? What the fuck is book cap? Book end.
Bookend, it's
That's what I
fine.
meant.
I knew what you meant.
So we're gonna try to go for my birthday. Hopefully, I'll be able to get some tickets so I can go and talk about it and give you guys an experience update on that. But yeah, super excited. I did overhear when I was at A Touch of Disney yesterday. A cast member, Peter and I were walking, and we heard a cast member talking about opening day and attractions that were going to be open. So we like stopped in our tracks and we're like, let's just pretend to be on our phones while we listen to this cast member talk to another person. And they were saying like, if you want a true full Disneyland experience, don't come in the first like week to 2 weeks because they're going to be adjusting things and changing things and a lot of stuff is not going to be open, and they're going to try to have as many rides as they can. They said, but there are some rides where it's physically impossible to social distance because a lot of stuff at Disneyland, especially the queues, is a lot smaller because there's not really a lot of space. So I have no idea what rides that could possibly be, but they said because of the capacity and because of like what stage Orange County is in reopening, they're probably not going to be able to open some of the rides. So they said give it a couple weeks for them to like get into a flow and like know what's going on, and the cast members have experience dealing with guests again. So yeah, I'm super excited with our time frame of going, and hopefully it will kind of work out that it will be a nice experience back. I mean, it's going to be nice either way, but hopefully it will be a little bit better than others.
Nice. That's awesome. That's great. That's so exciting.
Yeah, hopefully next week I can tell you guys something that doesn't have to do with Disneyland reopening.
You never know. Yay. Okay. Well, that news is so exciting. But Nicole, what do we have for Disney Company? Is there anything exciting from that end?
Well, recently, as of a day ago, a group of 8 women are suing the Disney Company for unequal gender pay.
Good.
Yeah. I just thought it was funny because you said anything exciting happening. The Disney Company's getting sued. But no, I was reading on an article that a class action lawsuit that was filed in 2019. Sorry, my brain just stopped. On behalf of 2 Walt Disney Studio cast members who believe that their pay was less than their male counterparts, the Walt Disney Company spoke out and said that It's not.
Everybody's paid equally. Me.
Exactly.
Right,
Well,
right,
and then
right. Based on
a
your
group of 8
qualifications.
of them who are stepping forward now, and like we've been talking to people, and like we're significantly underpaid, and they're like, you're in trouble for talking to people about your pay now. And yeah, so yep. From an HR standpoint, go for it, Nick.
Hi, everybody. I worked HR for 5 years, and you are 100% allowed to talk about your salary with other people unless you sign a piece of paper at your hiring forbidding you from talking from it.
They probably did.
No, Disney
I
came
can
out
tell
with another
you-
statement, and they were like, "No, it's fine. Like we never said that."
I was going to say,
They backpedaled.
the only time you'll ever encounter that is if you're working for, like, let's say you just got hired on as a CEO and they don't want you messing up and accidentally talking to the media or someone leaking something that they shouldn't. But as like an hourly employee, you pretty much should never be asked to sign a piece of paper like that. And if you are, there's a problem with your position and you should maybe research your company a little bit more, because you are absolutely allowed to tell people your salary if you didn't sign a piece of paper. So yup.
Well, I guess we'll see how that
Yikes.
moves
Good.
forward. That was literally just released yesterday. So
Good.
I mean, for their sake, I hope that if it is true that Disney as an entire company reevaluates their pay structure and ensures that 2 people doing the same job with the same qualifications for the same amount of time are getting paid fairly. Because
not fairly, the same.
well, the girl getting paid fairly, yes.
Was it cast members? Was it from the parks? Was it from corporate? Does it say?
Let me go back and see. One of the women is a former home entertainment manager.
Sure.
What the fuck is
So,
that?
I think it's.
I don't know.
No, I don't. It literally. That's. I don't know.
Oh, probably like movies, like movie release, like DVDs, home entertainment.
Maybe, yeah.
Could be. Yeah. Otherwise, it just says Disney employees, which Disney has a lot of employees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I'm assuming it's not like on the ground cast members, but it could be. I'm assuming
could
it's
be.
people that are higher up.
Yeah, it is hard, like, thinking from a hiring standpoint, like most jobs that are hourly, like on the ground, like have a set standard, like entry level pay, no matter who you are. And it's kind of hard to wiggle with that. And if that is the case, that there are seriously hourly paid employees that there's a wage gap, like that is beyond fucked up, because that means someone had to intentionally like change the pay for one person or the other, and that's just like mind-boggling to me that someone would do something that like fucking misogynistic. So I mean, it's all fucking misogynistic.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it true.
I'm glad that the beans are all being spilled now.
I mean, they deserve it. If you're going to still pull bullshit, like, which every single company out there is still doing it and getting away with it, and it's fucking bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that.
What's going on at Walt Disney World, Nick?
You know what's funny is my news also has to do with Walt Disney World cast members, because I kind of couldn't find anything super interesting that I thought was worth sharing about like the theme park, because it's like new spring cakes are here.
Okay, I'm sorry, but the Thumper cake looks from Animal Kingdom, the cupcake. It looks really cute.
It does. And
you want to talk about more cupcakes?
It looks really cute. And the Falcon and the Bucky Barnes cake that looks really good. But it's not why I'm here. So if you guys don't know, Disney cast members, almost most of them, decide to join the Disney Union, which the Disney Union is any union. I guess I'm kind of pro-union because I like workers having protections for them. And the Disney Union is advocating for cast members to get vaccines, for all of them to be eligible to get vaccines.
They absolutely should.
I think that's exactly right. And the fact to me that Walt Disney World was one of the first things to like reopen in Florida, and the fact that cast members weren't the first people offered vaccines, like old people and cast members, boggles my fucking mind, especially that Walt Disney World was being considered to be a distributor of the vaccine. And
right.
That's fucking nuts to me that these cast members are out there every day, probably around more people than any other, I guess, job other than maybe like a grocery store. I guess maybe retail. You come across a lot of people in retail.
I don't know, man. It's Walt Disney World, though. You come
That's
across
true.
a lot of people in Disney who don't retail people don't give a fuck, but like Disney people take it to a new level. You either get the people who care a lot or the people who don't at all.
I mean, on average, like a retail store usually only sees about like 300 to 700 people a day. And when you're at Walt Disney World, you come into contact with thousands of people.
Yeah. True. Very true. Especially now with who fucking knows where Disney capacity is at right now.
And I feel like
the ticketing people.
Yeah, I feel like especially Walt Disney World cast members, like specifically for the state of Florida, I feel like it should be up to Florida's governor, who's not going to get into that, but I feel like he relied on Disney so much to be, contributing to the Orlando, like the theme park tourism industry and making money and continuing to make money and to open. And he pushed for it to open and he wasn't going to close again. And like, I feel like because of that, you should give cast members the vaccine, just as a thanks. Like, hey, thanks for creating money for my state through a pandemic. Thanks. Because
if you think about it, like, take away like basic human decency that a lot of these Republican representatives have. A lot of the reason why Florida reopened was strictly for the economy, and that's what DeSantis went after. And like I said, strip away the basic human decency of having your number one employees out on the front line, other than healthcare. Don't get me wrong, healthcare absolutely also deserves the vaccine. I'm sorry, I completely forgot that. But these guys are like second in line, and even if you don't care about them, you're right, like Kurt, it should be like a thank you for being the people that put your life out on the line when we didn't even really know that much about coronavirus. So
yeah, I feel like, I don't know that much about the Florida's vaccine rollout. Can grocery store people get it yet?
No.
Oh, because I was going to say, I feel like theme park workers and like grocery store workers should be like at the same level, and like they should be able to get it at the same time. Because I feel like that's fairly equivalent of like they've also been open the entire time and they're like public service, I guess. But I feel like it's just a rabbit hole, and I don't want to get down because I want to talk about such a Disney.
Yeah, we've got other shit to talk about. But if you're a cast member and you're listening, I hope the union pulls through for you guys, because I think I read that there's 30,000 cast members. I'm sorry if that number's wrong. I'm sorry. The specific union, strike 30,000. The specific union, it's called Unite Here 362, has 9,000 cast members in its union. So it's pushing for 9,000 people to get a vaccine, which if you compare that to the entire population of Florida, that is not that many people. That is like, I'm trying to say this in the way that if he's trying to pretend like that's way too many people, it's not. Like that number is large when you think of like people working in one company, but 9,000 people to push through vaccines, they could do that in a day at like 3 vaccine sites. So they have the room at Walt Disney World. They should do it.
Yeah, I feel like the fact that Florida's population is so small compared to California, and we are able to now already start vaccinating adults 16 to 64 with underlying conditions, and you guys are still at senior citizens, might be saying something about the rollout.
We do.
So I have Florida's population pulled up right now, and you have
21 million.
21 million people.
Yes, 21 million. And
to push for 9,000 people to get vaccinated is like minuscule.
Our average is at least what has been being reported to some of the tracking sites is we do like around 150,000 vaccines a day that are being like fully reported. It could be more than that. So like really look at that percentage. It's not even 10%. Like,
yeah.
There's no reason. Walt Disney World is so vast. Even the offstage areas that are not being used by guests now, you could set up mobile sites and get it all done. Like, but
at Walt Disney World.
Right. Exactly. You don't even have, you just after your shift, go get a vaccine. Like there's access right there. So
can you imagine they train somebody in a Mickey costume to pump vaccines into their workers?
It'd be like the Pooh Bear.
I would pay money to get poisoned by somebody in a Mickey suit. So
I just literally imagine them taping needles to the end of Mickey's like glove and just like him slapping it into people.
Vaccines are not poisonous. Nicole just wants to be poisoned.
Yes.
Yes. I wasn't insinuating that the vaccine was poison because I want it in my body.
Oh boy, kids.
All right, let's take a break and then let's come back and we will talk about A Touch of Disney.
Great.
Nice. All right, everyone, now that we're stopped, let's take a minute to shout out to our socials.
Since you've made it this far, maybe subscribe to our podcast. You can subscribe wherever you're listening, like Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or whatever you're listening on right now.
You can also follow us over on Instagram and TikTok at Foreverland Fairy Tales.
And most importantly, if you want more Disney content or if you want to listen to our podcast on YouTube, make sure you find us there. We're at Foreverland Fairy Tales, and just remember to subscribe.
All right, let's get back to the episode. All right, welcome back. Let's head into this week's YouTube video / I guess last week's YouTube video. I don't know. It was a little confusing because A Touch of Disney happened and we wanted to get that video out right away. So this was, I guess, last Friday's video, A Touch of Disney.
Yay, A Touch of Disney. Holy guacamole. You were like inside of DCA past Buena Vista Street. Like,
yeah, it was overwhelming.
Wow, that's so awesome. I was nope, I wasn't in tears. I was very happy to see the Disneyland characters. I loved their social distance meet and greets. That literally was so cute of having them like up on top of things. And I loved that so much.
Yeah, it was nice. It was very well thought out, well planned. It's a very nice one day, like one and done type of thing. Like there's nothing that I missed. There's nothing that like I feel the need to go back and do. I mean, I can because it's sold out. But like I'm glad I didn't get a second day ticket because I almost did. Like I thought about it for a hot second. I'm glad I didn't because it was like a nice like in and out, one and done. We're good. No, I can go back when it reopens.
Great. That's funny. You kind of answered my first question. I was going to ask you like overall, what was your well, I guess you didn't cover all of it, but like overall, just like what was your experience with it? Like how do you feel Disneyland did with this event?
Overall, I like it's probably one of the coolest events I've been to. I don't know, because it's not like a festival. It's something that has never happened before or that I've ever been to before. Like it was kind of like a festival, but it was like almost. I've never been to D23 either, so I don't really know. But it was almost like kind of like a convention, like a weird Disney park convention kind of thing, where like everybody who is there are the people who like love going to Disney and have really wanted it to reopen. And I don't know, the energy was just amazing that day. Everybody was super excited. You know, the cast members were really excited. Everybody was eager to get in the park. it was really special. I felt it was a really special thing to experience the opening day of this. And yeah, I don't know. It was just a lot of fun and it was just very different. But I think how they planned it and how they executed everything, some things were great. And I think they did the best that they could with what they could do. Other things were a little bit confusing and strange. So I guess the things that were confusing and strange were how you got your food, because it's essentially a dining event. And it's based around festival booths and restaurants and some shopping, not a lot of shopping, but mostly food. But for the festival booths, they really, really pushed for mobile ordering. And they made it so inconvenient to order in person that it was like, well, I guess we should just mobile order everything. But then at the same time, not everything could be mobile ordered. Like, it wasn't a universal mobile order system. The booths were mobile order, and I think the restaurants were mobile order. Everything else, every other kiosk that was there, like the churros or the popcorn, or they had like the turkey leg stand and, like those random little food carts, like all of that you had to do in person. So if you wanted to pay in person for the festival booths, there was a marketplace like pay booth where it was one booth and you could order from every single festival booth from that one station. And they were not situated in front of the festival booths. They were not attached to it. They were not really affiliated with the festival booths at all. It was just kind of like this random kiosk with workers and a cash register. And they were like, okay, well, you're going to pay here. You can order as much as you want from any booth. And then you just go up and give them your receipt like you would at a normal festival. So yeah, that was a little confusing to get used to. So I think that's kind of where it was not so great, was like in the execution of ordering and receiving your food. But maybe it's also just because it was the first day, and maybe they'll kind of change and fix those kinks as the event goes on.
I mean, that sounds pretty fun. I could see how that could be frustrating with the ordering food, because they do it at Walt Disney World too, to where like especially one that I noticed the other day was Aloha Isle, and you can order there in person, but they almost make it like so uncomfortable for you to stand in line that like you just want to mobile order. So that kind of sucks that it was all kind of confusing like that. But
yeah, I mean, even the festival booths, you couldn't order in person there.
Oh.
You had to go to these like marketplace kiosk things. So yeah, you could not go up to a booth and order your food. You had to find one of like the cashier kiosks to order food from any of the booths.
That is so weird to me, because they don't have that at Walt Disney World. Like, I couldn't even imagine it.
Yeah, it was strange.
Well, cool. Nicole, ask him what his favorite dish was.
I was literally going to ask him that.
Okay,
but
good. Well, I was like, you do it next.
Kurt, what was your favorite dish? Favorite and least favorite?
Dish the dishes.
Dish it.
Dish.
Okay.
I don't know. I would say, like, food wise, I would say my favorite meal that I had, like, food wise, was probably the Impossible Chili waffle fries that Nick mentioned a couple podcasts ago. And I think, oh God.
Sorry, that scared the shit out of me.
No.
So sorry. Third time's the charm.
Anyways, they were very delicious. Nicole is having a little moment right now, and her phone fell. Something happened, but it completely went dark, and now she just can't.
I don't even know.
Keep it together.
I don't even know.
I'm fine.
Okay. Yeah. Keep getting closer to the microphone while you get louder. That's great.
Just keep screaming right into it.
Anyways,
There's
I would say
audio for it.
Nicole,
literally.
you need to figure your life out.
My favorite
Yeah, I
thing
know.
overall was probably the strawberry rose lemonade. I got that twice. It was the most delicious thing I had put in my mouth the entire day. It was so good. It was so good.
I'm so
It was really
jealous.
refreshing. It
sounds
wasn't like
so good.
I feel like sometimes strawberry can be like really tart and like not great, especially in a lemonade. And it wasn't. And I also feel like the rose can be very it's either understated or it's very overstated. There's no like in between with rose for me.
Yes.
And this was
Yep.
like right in between. It was perfect. And it was cute.
I
It
can't
came
wait
with
to
like a
try
little
that.
like rose petal like right on top. Yeah.
I hope they serve that like during regular time at some point.
Me too. I'm absolutely going to it's going to be on a lookout from now on.
That sounds so good.
Yeah, it was great. Peter's favorite dish was the turkey leg, which
Ew.
basic.
Ew. What is wrong with Peter?
he just loves the turkey leg.
Fucking Peter, man.
I don't know why.
It looks like
Nice.
rubber.
Yeah.
Like
Nice.
all turkey
Yeah, it
legs.
tastes like
so
rubber.
It's a literal animal leg, like
Yeah.
a giant animal. It's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. No judgment, yo. A little bit.
There was a lot of judgment. What are you talking about?
Have you
Just
ever
kidding.
fucking seen a turkey leg before? It's
Yeah, they're
disgusting.
disgusting. Full judgment.
Nice. So what are all of the characters you remember meeting?
So basically the core 5, I would say, including Joy from Inside Out. So the first character that we saw was Mickey, and he was in a very exclusive costume, which was really cool. He was in his band concert costume, which I've never seen him in before anywhere. But they had them situated in like places that you would, I guess, kind of like enjoy seeing a character there. So like Mickey was on the Silly Symphony swings, which is, I guess, like it's just like your basic carnival swing ride, but it's based off of the Mickey Short band concert. And they play like the music from the short, and they have like different Mickey Short movie posters all around the ride. So he was up there, Minnie's up there. We saw Daisy up there, and Pluto was up there. Donald, if you didn't see Donald, like he was very easy to miss. He was on like one of the balconies hanging out at the Grand Floridian. He was very random. I was not expecting. I only saw him over there because somebody else had seen him and was like screaming to him.
Wait. Is it the Grand Californian?
Did I say
Or is it
Floridian?
just
Grand Floridian.
Damn. Yeah, no, it's a Grand Californian.
Just let you go, man. That's okay.
Who else was there? Goofy was there with Max. Goofy and Max were out. Also a pretty rare character, Max. They were at the Pacific Wharf fishing off of the like one of like the railing, like balcony railings thing, like into the water that they have. Goofy was fishing with like a rubber chicken, and Max had on the end of his like fishing rope was like a pair of underwear. It was very like Goofy Max, like Goof Troop, Goofy movie-esque. So it was nice. It was pretty cool. The character experience was really great. Joy was hanging out at the Emotional Whirl Around on Pixar Pier, the ride that's based off of Inside Out. I did see on Instagram that Sadness was also there, but every time I walked by, she was not there. So I did not get to see Sadness. Oh, and I guess this constitutes as a character. Lightning McQueen and Mater were out in Cars Land.
Good job.
Yeah.
I was watching one of your lives, and like Joy did a little spin, and when she did that, when people like whoever is the cast member playing Joy, like you have her motions down so accurately, like the way she spun and like stood, I was like, it literally was like watching a cartoon. Like it was awesome. She's awesome. Great. I guess then, just to not spoil everything, because we are going to put a YouTube video out on YouTube about it. So I guess like lastly, like Kurt, would you just like recommend? I mean, not that any of you can go if you don't have tickets because it's sold out, unfortunately. But like, would you recommend it?
Yeah, I definitely think, I was talking to Peter on the way out. We always do this thing where after any event that we go to, and it doesn't matter if it's Disney or not, it could be a concert, it could be a vacation, it could be whatever. We always like rate and evaluate like what our favorite thing was, like what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it. So why the fuck are you two laughing nonstop?
I'm laughing about something that I'm thinking about in my head, so I don't know what Nicole's laughing about, like at all.
Not that any of you can go anyways. Would you recommend it?
Yeah, I'm a little bit
mood tonight.
A little bit.
Everything is funny.
Oh God. Great. So whether it's a vacation or an event or concert or anything that we really go to, Peter and I will always evaluate our experience, what we liked, what we didn't like, if we would do it again. And I think that, I mean, like you said, it's sold out. So if you can't go, you can't go. But I think that if this had happened any sooner, I would have been very uncomfortable being there, in the sense of like COVID and crowds. And like the capacity was very low and I was never uncomfortable. But I think that I was never uncomfortable because we are on a decline of cases. Vaccines are rolling out. Peter's fully vaccinated. Like, I am more comfortable being in larger crowds or smaller pathways. I'm more comfortable being outdoors with people who don't wear their masks correctly. It still is a pet peeve of mine, and it still is like, are you really going to be that indecent to my health because I'm not vaccinated? So anyways, I think that if this had happened any sooner, I would not recommend it, and I would have it probably would have tainted my experience by a lot, and I would not have really enjoyed myself as much as I did. But with that being said, it was not earlier. I think it happened at the perfect time. It's the perfect lead up to the park's reopening. So I think that they planned this event without actually realizing that they were going to open on the 30th. So I'm glad that this event is happening when it's happening, and all the measures are in place that, make me feel safe. I really wish some cast members would just kind of grow a pair and just be like, hey, put your mask above your nose, because there were a lot of moments where I saw cast members look at somebody who had their mask below their nose, or were just walking around not wearing their mask and eating at the same time, which is clearly stated in the rules that that's not allowed. And the cast members didn't say anything. And I think that it's just like this fear that has been cultivated around enforcing mask rules. But yeah, besides all of that, it was a great experience. I feel like there will be nothing like this probably ever again, which is why I'm glad that we went. Yeah. If it was a continuing thing, I would absolutely recommend it. But it's not. So sorry.
Great. Honestly, Disneyland cast members probably saw that Disney World cast member just got spit on this week for asking someone about
Oh my God, that should have been your
mascot.
housekeeping.
I was going to, but it's not that exciting because most people look for drama, but like the dude was caught and is now getting charged.
Right,
so,
exactly. Like
fuck
spit on me,
you.
I will press charges. Go for it. I don't care.
It's literally fucking assault. And I think there's an added charge because we're in a pandemic, that it's like biological warfare. Like, fuck that guy. I hope he goes to prison for like fucking like 15 years.
Yep.
Fuck him.
One added mention that I will talk about, because I don't want to go on forever about this, is that the music, the soundtrack that they curated for the event was probably a highlight for the first half of the day. After that, it was just like a loop of the same music, and I was really annoyed by it. But the music that they had, it was really, really great. They had different versions of Supercalifragilistic, Moana. They had a mariachi version of Hi-Ho, which was the coolest thing.
I heard that.
Yeah, it was really great. And then in between every couple songs, they had like kind of because Buena Vista Street, DCA, it's like set in the theme of old Hollywood when Walt Disney came to Los Angeles. So it's like early 1920s. So they kind of recorded this old-timey radio commercial in between every couple songs. And the radio station that they said was KBS. So K, because it's like in front of every radio station, is K something something. But it was Buena Vista Street, so KBVS. And they had like random ads for different shops in California Adventure or different food booths. And it was a really cool way to kind of tie in the audio that you hear throughout the day with the experience. It was very Disney of them.
That's cute. Sorry, yeah. KBVS sounds like an STD. So
it does.
Kind of lost it there. Well, great. I'm so glad you got to go and experience that. And I think I missed one of your lives, and I was so upset because it was one of those things where I think you did it. And usually we tell each other, we're like, hey, go harass me on this live. And I literally like saw it after you had done it. Like it literally had just ended. And I was like, no, I wanted to be there for the whole thing. But I loved watching along on the lives and listening to the music. I fucking loved the music in the background. And it just seemed really nice. So I'm glad you got to do that.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, it was great.
All right. Well, that's all for this section. So I think it's time for break number 2. So let's go ahead and take that break, and we will see you when we get back.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Let's head into our therapy session. Nick, I'm pretty sure it's your therapy session this week, so let's dive into that because I know it's gonna be a doozy.
All right, I bet you guys can guess what this therapy session is going to be.
Does it have anything to do with TikTok and being a cancerous millennial?
Yes. But it's more than that. I promise. I promise you guys aren't going to have to listen to me talking about the same shit that I've been bitching about for the last 2 days. So hi, welcome to my therapy session. It's been a week. So I am going to use this therapy session to talk about TikTok, but like specifically like being... I don't even know what the fuck we are.
Big?
No, like I don't want to say influencer because we're not really influencers. Like we don't really care. Like we just want to share like our message. Like we're not trying to influence you to do anything or like get you to like love us or anything. But whatever we are, just like being someone on TikTok that
we're just an entity that's a bigger channel.
Yes. So let's get into that. Okay. Here's I swear to God, every fucking time I do one of these, I have a disclaimer. So here's Nick's disclaimer for this therapy session. I would like to say that my life 20 years ago, because I have enough years in my life that you can go 20 years back and I'm a pretty decent human being. 20 years ago, and my life
Same.
Yeah, actually all of us. And my life right now are wildly different. So me and what I'm doing right now with my life does not speak for the person who I was 20 years ago. So even with all the bullshit I've been in the last year, I am very lucky and I completely understand my privilege to have an opportunity to be someone who goes to Disney World. Like, I get it. I am very privileged right now to have this opportunity, to have it as my job, to have it a part of my life. So hear me out, okay? So the other thing is I don't want this to be like a poor me, because whether you are anyone in media, actor, dancer, podcaster, YouTuber, Instagrammer, any of the above, you know exactly what I'm going to talk about. So obviously, like Kurt, you know, as like someone who's been in the media, whether it be like before Foreverland with Disney Dancer, with literally being a performer, like, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you are a person who puts yourself in any sort of media, you open yourself up to criticism, which with criticism comes hate and scrutiny. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Can we go ahead just real fast, just like do a little drop about our TikTok lives, just like real quick, just to like start off with a light topic. Like, for the most part, like TikTok lives are probably one of my, I actually really like doing them. It's fun to like chat with people who are really excited about like getting a view inside the parks for people who can't go, who have never been, all in between. But a couple things just really quick. If you join us for a live, please don't demand things of us. We are more than happy to like accommodate. Like, if there's something you maybe really want to see that you maybe just missed, or something that you know won't be like a command, you can ask us like, hey, can I get a view of the castle? Like, that's completely fine, having a conversation about it. But like, people demand us to do things all the time. Like, we're a servant, like, and we're just supposed to be like a robot that shows them whatever they want to see. Just know, like, we're doing this for free. Maybe just like be a little bit kinder. So that's like number one that I'm like, just like, you know, don't command. Number two, don't be a fucking creep. This is a big one for me. It really, 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 really makes me anxious and uncomfortable when people come on our lives and like to say things like, I'm right behind you, or I can see you right now, because 99% of people that do that aren't actually there. And someone who's actually there and saw us on TikTok live would be like, oh my God, I'm going to come say hi. Or is it okay if I wave? Or, you know, like, they're not going to be like, I'm right behind you, or I can see you right now. And the reason why that's problematic is, for anybody, it's really unsafe for people to be promoting this I'm watching you kind of creepy culture, because like, there are people,
stalker culture.
Exactly. Like, I think I've mentioned this before, like, Kurt, we're in slightly marginalized groups. Like, most of us are LGBTQ, but as two people who, you know, it's scary. Like, you don't know what someone's going to do to you, or follow you to the parking lot, or if they're going to follow you the whole fucking day. Like, that's so uncomfortable to know that someone might be watching you or whatever.
Well, and it's not cool too, because you've literally, like, you've been stalked, like, at the university that we went to. Like, you were.
It was terrible.
Stalked.
Literally. It's scary. And it's even okay to be like, oh my God, I'm in the park right now too. Like, that's different. It's when someone's like, I see where you're at, right? Like, no, don't do it. It's so fucking weird. And even if you're a person, like, I understand about having social anxiety. Like, even a part of me is like, please don't even come. Like, it's okay if you come up to me, but like, that even makes me nervous of just like having to like think of conversation to have with someone that I've never met. And it scares me that I'm going to be like awkward or uncomfortable, but it's so much better than being like, I can see you wearing a yellow sweater, Kurt. Like,
turn around.
It's fucking weird.
Turn around.
So those are, I think, the main two about the lives that just have been stuff that we've kind of wanted to like bring up. Of, we're not anyone big or important or anything like that in our lives, but just like I think some people forget that like
we're human.
You know, we're just people hanging out in the park, and just, you know, just remember that. That's all.
That would be like whispering in somebody's ear and being like, I'm right here. Just like being fucking creepy to normal people in the park.
It's just too far. So that is all for lives. And I'm going to try and get through the next part as quickly as I can with like not boring you guys. So this is a little bit more serious, like an actual therapy session of just me going into like something that happened in the last couple of days. That is bound to happen if you're a person in the media. And I would also like to say, if you're a person in the media listening to this and have any sort of following, I would love to hear your coping mechanisms on how to deal with this, because I've been all over the place with really not coping at all with it and being completely fine with it and everywhere in between. So let's talk about it. I personally feel like TikTok is the most toxic social media platform, even worse than Facebook, than any other platform. And I think it's because the potential of things to go viral as fast as they do. On Facebook, things typically... Why can't I talk? On Facebook or like Instagram, things typically take a while to get traction, and there's a lot of time in between that before something gets like out of control and just, yeah. So as we mentioned, we have a relatively large following. I would say out of the three of us, TikTok is probably like my responsibility. Kurt helps with it. Nicole's on it all the time, so she's got insight about it. But it's just something like, it's just something that is a big part of Foreverland for me. So this affected me a lot. I personally feel like Foreverland was never meant to be something that was super big in the public eye. So the fact that it is now, I guess I'm just having a really hard time dealing with it, especially with the three of us having such high anxiety. And it's just something that wasn't expected for me when we first started this platform. So I made a TikTok like literally 6 months ago on the height of the pandemic, when I didn't have a job and everyone was super down on their luck. And I was scrolling through TikTok and there was just like all of these people being really like shitty about Disney adults and just saying how they're all like freaky and weird and we all just like need to get a life. And I was like, but like Disney is the reason that helps me cope and whatever. So I just made a TikTok about being a Disney adult and trauma, which I'll explain a little bit more. But while most of our videos have stayed on like Disney Lover TikTok, the one I posted from 6 months ago, people can like use your sounds and shit. And I made a sound and this girl fucking used it on her small business and it's almost to 2 million views now. So all of a sudden, like my phone's blowing up. I'm getting like hundreds of notifications. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like we've had a couple videos like this blow up in the past where it's like out of nowhere, we go from like 0 to like 20,000 views. And it happens so fast. And it's just like comment after comment. And this time I was really shocked because while those comments are usually like positive, this time it was hundreds. I'm not like exaggerating. It was hundreds comments of hate, like hate and hate and hate and hate and hate, like literally telling me to like shut up, that I'm so embarrassing, that I should just like die, that like I'm overdramatic and that I don't have any real trauma and that I'm just like making this all up and blah, blah, like really like kind of horrible things. And like this video was so positive that it was really shocking to see like so much hate, because it was literally a TikTok about me going to Disney and it allowing me to be a kid again. And like other people I know also love Disney because they use it as a coping mechanism to deal with their childhood trauma. And the reason this was so impactful to me is this isn't like, my trauma isn't like my parents telling me no every now and then. I mean, like, I've been through some shit that people have nightmares about, like shit that people pray their kids never go through. And like just being someone who's been hurt my entire life, like I've had days without food. I never really had a safe space as a kid, like at home or even at school, because I was bullied in school. And just like, those are the things I'm comfortable talking about. So as the first time as a Disney adult, I went, and literally that feeling to be like free and be a kid again. And that little girl that was hurt so badly, like she was allowed to be a little girl again. And I know that may sound like weird or whatever, but it's just what I felt. You know, I've been through therapy. I've been on and off meds my whole life. Tried taking my own life. Like I've all done this, and Disney is the one place I can go where even for a little bit, I can forget about all of those really horrible parts of my life and just kind of like be a kid. So anyway, here's this really nice TikTok, and all of these people are making a judgment call about who I am in a 60-second TikTok. And at first I was really, really upset. Like really, really, really upset. And Kurt and Nicole were both really good at just being like, just ignore it. Like, it's just a whole bunch of people on the internet. Like, it's fine. Like, just leave it alone. And like, on the record, I need you guys to hear this too. I literally can't. So since I've been 15, I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression. But in 2019, I was diagnosed with OCD. And I don't think people realize OCD is complex as it is, to where OCD is not like how you watch on TV, people like washing their hands constantly. That is a compulsion.
Like organizing their things in like rainbow order.
Yes. Like, people think that like because you have to wear white socks every day, you have OCD. And OCD is not the action. It is what is going on inside of the brain. And it is obsessive thoughts, like so obsessive thoughts, like about the same thing over and over and over again. And you feel like your chest is going to crush in until you compulse. And this is something that my OCD fixated on. And if I wasn't checking TikTok, reading it constantly, I literally felt like my chest was going to cave in. I thought like I was going to have a heart attack because my anxiety was so bad. So I'm not kidding you, for like 6 hours straight, I kept refreshing the comments on TikTok because I couldn't put my phone down because my brain literally would not let me. And it was pretty horrible. It was pretty awful. People are really fucking terrible. And like, it was my voice. It was my experience. And I took it super personally at first. And eventually I reminded myself that they're literal children. It was mostly children, like 15-year-olds. And I just thought about myself at 15 and like what we were doing on the internet at 15. And that really helped me be like, why am I so upset? These are literal children that, are still trying to figure out how to fucking drive a car, let alone understand trauma in a way on a 60-second TikTok. So we're all good. I still am working with not checking it constantly. But it's just bothering me because it's so normalized on this app that I've seen this happen so many times where something has gone viral and like a couple people will comment negative things, and then literally like hundreds, if not thousands of people either say the same thing or try and go worse, and they all think it's funny. And if you retaliate, it gets worse. If you try and play it cool, it gets worse. If you ignore it, then they start bullying you that you're ignoring it. And it's just like, there's really like no win. And it's just a bunch of kids. And yeah, I actually envy people that live life without social media because I think it's all toxic, but our business literally relies on it. So we have to be on it. And I think the biggest thing to remember is like, take away social media, we're still people like behind the screen. And the next time you bully someone, like remember that there's actually someone behind there that has a life experience, that has gone through some shit that you don't know about, and you're going to say something that could possibly stick with them forever. And that's what I've been experiencing in the last 2 days.
Yeah, wow, what a great therapy session, Nick. That was deep and good.
Yeah, I try my best.
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think a lot of stuff that you said really hit. I think for a lot of people in media and a lot of people in specifically social media, I think that social media is really a downfall of
humanity,
society.
Fucking social media.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's head into coping session. So it is my coping session this week.
It's Kurt's turn. Yay.
So I want to talk about how we cope with kind of something that's a little broad spectrum, but I'm gonna make it more specific in how we cope with this in Disney parks specifically, and that's change. How we cope with change, because that's something that skyrockets my anxiety.
Time can't change me. No, time
Jesus
can't
Christ.
change me.
I have no idea what the song is.
Time. I think so. I don't fucking know.
What?
I don't know. Is it?
I don't even know what you said.
Yes, it's from Shrek.
Why is it funnier the second time?
Nice.
doing really good, Nicole.
I'm trying.
All right, so I feel like change in the sense of like, I know that's something that helps our anxiety, like the three of us, is that we plan our days at the parks. Like we plan what rides we're going to go on, where we're going to go, what we're going to eat, what we're going to do. Especially with you guys being vegetarians, you really, really plan out your day food wise. And I feel like just like as an example that you can think of is, if you go to Epcot and you really plan on getting this plant-based meal for lunch and you go and the booth is closed, something that has absolutely happened to you, Nick, going in the beginning after they reopened in the pandemic.
Yep.
A lot of stuff was not open.
Yep.
So I guess just this kind of set me off yesterday at the World of Disney, at a touch of Disney.
Wow.
A lot of stuff sets me off at World of Disney, but not change. So yeah, I just want to talk about how we cope with our plans getting changed midday or very abruptly while we're at the park.
Leaves park.
So I
just leaves.
just leaves the
the state of
entire park,
Florida.
goes back to Wisconsin.
Anyway.
So one of the ways that I cope with that is I've somehow developed the ability to adapt and overcome, and I feel like my way of coping with that change is just being okay. So in that situation, because that's the example I gave, so of course that's the only thing I can think of, is just in that situation, I'd be like, okay, I'll just get fries. Like, I'll just immediately come up with a substitute so that it doesn't derail the entire day and no one else is affected, which is probably not like the healthiest thing to do, but I mean, that's how I cope.
Sacrifices your own well-being and wishes to just not bother anyone else. Sounds familiar. Yeah, I mean, Kurt, it fucking sucks when that shit happens. And most of the time, I literally just take so long being indecisive because my plan didn't work out. Like, I just won't eat for 17 hours. And then I'll be like, oh, I finally found something that I'll eat as long as the rest of you want to go. So that, I also just knowing you, I do feel I don't know, it's comforting to have you around because I feel like you also help those situations streamline a little bit of just with that adaptation of just, maybe it's because you were a dancer. You just always are thinking in your head and what's happening next and what you can do next. And you're just very good at that.
That's very valid, and I think that might be very true because, being a dancer, I especially a ballroom dancer, I always had to be 3 steps ahead of the game, and knowing what I'm doing next is a huge part of how I live my life. So yeah, I can see that. What about you, Nicole? How do you cope with that?
I don't know. I just kind of roll with the punches, I guess. I'm also somebody who will just be like, oh, it doesn't work for you? Great. I won't eat. It's fine. Because I'm used to being very mentally manipulated.
Punished.
Yeah.
Having to eat somewhere that has chicken fingers and French fries with 0 vegetarian options.
So I would eat the French fries and the apple slices and then get horrible diarrhea because apple slices, if you eat enough of them, they give you rancid, stinging diarrhea.
So yes, those are ways not to cope.
So I guess growing from that, if I'm hungry, just go eat. I don't know.
I think the thing is too is just realizing you're in a theme park and theme parks are ever changing and always different, and just letting yourself maybe have a backup for a plan if something you wanted to do was closed or something happens, just have that backup, because then you don't have to panic until you get to phase 3 of something falling through. But also Kurt said it again, plan. We always say it, plan. Don't just show up to the theme park and then be like, I can't find anything.
Literally.
Plan and have a backup.
I do want to say, this has nothing to do with the coping session. I just wanted to bring it up for the listeners and you guys. I noticed at A Touch of Disney yesterday, a lot of the festival booths had at least one vegetarian-friendly option at each booth.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeet.
Wow, Disney World. Wow, Disney World. Have
Yeah.
you ever heard of your sister, Disneyland? Have you heard of her? Because
They're probably like, yeah, she ain't open.
no, they're mad because she's the pretty sister. That's the problem. So,
Yeah. I mean, whether it be just
Fucking
like
God
no
damn it.
meat at all or a meat substitute, it was there.
God damn it. Well, that's good for you and good for Disneyland. But fucking Disney World, man.
All right. Well, that's how we cope. And that's going to wrap up this episode of Magically Unstable. So thank you guys so much for tuning in for yet another week of our just mayhem and magic and us having some therapy sessions.
Desperation.
Yeah.
Sadness.
Yeah. This podcast is actually very therapeutic for me. So I'm glad if
too.
any of you are getting joy out of this, know that you're getting joy out of us releasing our drama onto your ears.
Yay! Also, don't forget about our giveaway. If you like free stuff, head over to our Instagram. The rules should be up by now, I think. So yeah, who doesn't
Yeah.
like free stuff?
Yeah,
Go
head over
over
there.
there.
You can follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Foreverland Fairy Tales. Shoot us an email at foreverlandcitizens@gmail.com if you want to talk to us, and subscribe to us too wherever you're listening on right now.
And be fucking nice.
Yeah,
I swear to God, be nice.
be nice, but says it angrily.
I am angry. Be nice.
All right, guys, we will talk to you next week.
All right. Have a good one. Stay magical.
Bye.
I'm Paul.